Let's just do it the enlisted way. Is that what you said?
Absolutely. Just see if you can break stuff, you know?
Oh, the enlisted way.
Officers are like, we need to plan this. And we're just like, let's just see what,
Let's just see
we'll
what
see if we can do
happens.
it. Yeah. Just put maximum effort into it and see if we can do it without any training.
Maximum effort. So what I don't know is uh, privacy. Hold on a second. Why is it on private? I'm just trying to
Oh.
make sure we're good to go. I think. All right. I think we're good to go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Once Ready podcast. Trent and I decided to hop on kind of last minute. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. I do have some ideas. I do have some ideas.
You always,
Uh,
I love how you're always like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I pulled a couple pictures off the internet and
yeah.
see if we have some opinions, you know?
Yeah. See what we got to say about it. But before we do that, just so you guys know what's fueling me right now is Cardomax, right? Cardomax.com, achieve your max, promo code one's ready. Got that. This one's the hydro for, you know, work on that hydration levels. I've had enough caffeine for today, so I don't need any more.
I'm going hard. I'm going to go hard for that like 9 p.m. crash, 10 p.m. crash. I'm just going to keep ratcheting up until we'll see what happens. But yeah, Hydromax is for the night. That's what I drink at night, right? Like, cause if you don't feel like just drinking regular water, but also you want to be ready for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's hydration starts today. And so if you're a little bit behind or you didn't do everything the right way, drinking that stuff at night is like magic, and I love it.
Yes, it is. Okay, so I realized that why there were no viewers on here, because I didn't have it set to public. I had it set to private, because that's a
Oh.
rookie mistake, and it's been a while since I was on public.
Look, man, you had a
So
rough day at Costco, you know.
I did not
So
have a rough
it's
game. Hey, the two dudes that came up to me and said, "What's up?" Like, just so you guys know, both of you guys called me chief,
and he
and
prefers Chief Master Sergeant. Say it right, guys.
and I immediately came out to the car and said, Aaron, Trent, you guys are assholes for keep calling me, and everybody's calling me chief now. So not a big fan, but whatever.
You are
It's
the
all
chief
good.
of this podcast. I don't know what to tell you. It's
No, but I do appreciate the dudes coming up and saying, "Hey, that's awesome." But yeah, okay. So just got back from Minot Air Force Base. I know there were a couple people out there that wanted to say, "Hey, sorry I didn't get a chance to." I was out there for a couple of days, but the schedule was just absolutely packed. So there was no getting around um, going and seeing anybody and anything like that. So, but
why
you
was
did.
your schedule so packed? Is it because you're a chief doing chief things? Is that why?
I didn't make my schedule. The calendar really runs my life. I had people schedule things for me. No big deal.
My aides keep me so
Yeah.
busy. It is so difficult.
To be clear, I don't have an exec. I don't have aides. I do my own orders. I do my own vouchers. I there are occasions where because what I've had happen is when I am traveling, I mess up the time zone thing with the calendar. So getting people to actually, so I send it to the front office and go like, "Hey, could you guys schedule this on me?" Because or to my calendar because at least I know that it'll be correct because I've missed a couple things when I've tried to schedule things while I'm on the road.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I don't have people for that. I do it all
I
myself.
mean, you have a commander support staff. That is also your support staff, I think, right?
Sure, but I don't leverage them the way I
I know.
probably could or should.
I would not give you a hard time if I thought that you were one of those chiefs that expected everybody to do stuff for you. It would be, yeah. So everybody knows
Yeah,
I
but
speak sarcasm.
it was awesome though. Mine not in November, no big deal. Street cred achieved. Check that one off. But we got a lot of cool stuff out at Minot. I won't go into what we actually have, but people out there that I ran into were fantastic, super nice. So shout out to the security forces dudes, the CRF and the TRF that I got to ride with. Um, it's like Convoy Response Force, and I don't know what the TRF stands for. I, I don't know, but they were all super, super helpful. And believe it or not, Lieutenant Humphrey, who is out there, right? She is the convoy commander, and
Okay.
not a single person said that she was lost, and not a single person had a bad thing to say about her. Like, and seeing her run shop on everybody, and how everybody looked up to her and and talked about her. And they considered her like, hey, that's that's my LT, not, oh yeah, the LT. You know what I mean? They were like, she is my LT. So I think that speaks volumes about her. So
There's always
that
exceptions to the
she's the
rule, you
one
know?
lieutenant that's not lost.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few exceptions.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. And then obviously you saw that blue Smurf turf
The
bubble.
Thunderdome? If they don't
Dude,
call
that
it the
thing is
Thunderdome, I'm going to be
wild.
very upset.
They call it the bubble, but
The Thunder Bubble?
it's the tall it's the tallest thing on Minot Air Force Base. Like,
That's
it's
crazy.
unreal
Oh,
how
because
big that thing is.
the winds there get wild, right?
Yeah, it was windy while we were there, and it
Yeah.
was even inside the bubble, it would be considered by normal people standards cold. But when you consider it by like Minot standards, it was nice. It was perfect in there.
They're all wearing South Texas people would be like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I mean it's 70 degrees and you guys are wearing hoodies. So
Look, man, it's more about we look forward to it all year long. And I have like all these clothes that sit in a closet for like 8 months at a time, and we just get excited to test out the other side of the, the stuff that's been sitting in there rotting. So as soon as it gets cold enough to wear anything, I'm still sweating, but like now I'm just sweating because I'm wearing layers instead of I live on the surface of the sun.
yeah.
It's a
Well, Uh, like I said, I did want to talk about some stuff, or I figured I'd bring up some stuff. If you want to, while I pull all this up, if you want to hop in the chat and see if we got anything to chat about first.
Is the chat just on here, or do I have to like open up YouTube?
Oh, I guess I'm the only one that can see the chat, huh?
You are the only one that can see the chat.
No, that's a real bummer.
That's
Okay,
a real
well,
chief move right
it
there.
is it's a real chief
Well,
move.
let me see the studio chat.
Yeah, I don't see any of it popping up
No,
in there.
no. No, it would be on the YouTube chat. So maybe use
Yeah,
your
it's definitely
phone.
on the YouTube chat, but is where I'm looking. That's fine. I'm almost done opening up all these things. So you guys know, as we peruse things and find things to talk about and stuff like that, we use, or at least I use, Freeform on Apple to kind of keep track of everything. And yeah,
Oh dang.
so
Okay, I'm looking at the chat now on my phone. Someone said one's ready is back. Actually, someone said they hopped on the private one.
I don't know how they would have been able to do that,
Okay, there's
but whatever.
some of these are some of these are funny. Aaron's in the chat, so he's got this covered.
Oh, Aaron will be like thumbing it, just answering
Oh,
answering stuff.
Minot is a
Uh,
hidden gem. Would be a great place for a North STS. Wonderful training opportunities with all the weather possibilities. Why not? Minot?
so okay, so you do hear Minot, and you're like, everybody's like, oh God. I'll tell you right now, that place was nicer and had more going for it than I was expected, because that was my first time at Minot. I had never been there in 25 plus years. And so, and I enjoyed it. And there is a ton of outdoor stuff to do. So if you like hunting, ice fishing, um, in the wintertime, everybody's got snow machines buzzing around. So it's not as bad as everybody kind of makes out to be.
Aaron is berating me in the comments right now, saying that I can see the chat on Riverside. I just don't know where to go to look, apparently, because I'm not
Mm.
smart enough. So I'm sorry, Aaron. But yeah,
Taylor
geez.
Starcher's in the chat too.
Yeah, which is a lot of
He's doing
pressure to have Taylor
it
watching.
is. I want to say, you know what? Long cardio for the birds. All right. How about that, Starch? No.
Everyone's like, I don't care. We're still stuck on
Everybody,
the Thunderbirds thing.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
apparently. Because I was talking to someone today and it came up again. They're like, whoa, Aaron went hard at the Thunderbirds. I'm like, we're just, we're doing a thought experiment. And, like attacking sacred cows and like talking through it and saying, if it really is worth the investment. That's what we're talking about.
Well, that's actually how you know that it's a sacred cow.
Oh yeah.
But for if I'm gonna be fair, in argument's sake, you could probably say the same thing about dive school or free fall or something like that. But that has operational requirements and necessities, not other stuff. But that's, what do I know?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's there's capabilities, right? That's a capability more than it is like the Thunderbirds don't go to war, you know? They just don't. Because
No.
so so and yeah, you could argue the wartime application. It's like it's like a the weapons school, right? Like the pilots coming out of the Thunderbirds are that much better after that, and they increase the capability of the entire fleet or whatever we call all the birds,
Yeah.
the entire flock. Is that what we call all the fighter pilots? The flock of fighter pilots. So, anyway, that's
Anyway,
apparently that's still striking nerves. So, Aaron, great job on making everybody hate us.
you did it. And I have yet to. I don't think many people realize what Aaron is doing, like, and how intentional it is, and you're falling right into his trap. You really are. I mean,
Uh, oh,
sometimes Aaron just says things just to get under people's crawl. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he does. He's good at it.
yeah. They say do what you're good at. So there he is.
Yeah.
He's there. Oh, so
Yeah.
people are asking Aaron to talk about the election. Ooh,
Ooh, yeah. Well, Aaron probably. Yeah, we probably do need to talk about the election.
do we?
I well, okay, so maybe not the election, but and Aaron's going to be upset that he's missing this. I wouldn't surprise me if I get a text from him going like, "Hey, dude, freaking stop talking about this," or "Hold on, I'm going to hop on real quick." But can we talk about the amount of people? And I'll say airmen because I haven't seen it come from the Army. I'm sure it's in the Army and Navy and Marines, but I haven't seen anybody else talk about it other than the Air Force. Is how they need to uh, take mental health days or have a hey, here's some resources to talk to if you're that upset about the election. Like, dude.
Ah,
Do you really need to go see people about because your elected official was not elected? Um, I,
um,
I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not in an active duty capacity right now, so I was not a Obama uh, voter back in the day, right? I didn't call in sick. I didn't say I needed have issues like any of the candidates. And to be clear, I don't like it. I hate all politicians. Like, I really do. I think they're all terrible people. But the the fact that you would have to take a down day or a mental health day for an election, like,
yeah.
man, there's probably a little bit of weakness there, you baby back bitch.
Is this live about to get cut off because you're
It
about to
might
go on
it might
a
get cut
rant?
off,
Yeah.
or I might get a talking to later on. I don't know.
Oh, I
I've
mean,
I've been chewed out before, so we're good.
mine just did go to an ad. There's like an ad in the middle of it.
Oh,
Oh,
you, oh, because you're like you're going through like the public domain, like you're watching it live, whereas I've got the back end up. That's why I
oh,
don't see any
yeah.
kind of ad.
I should not be reading these comments actually because some of them are really funny and they're distracting me from yeah. Yeah, if you need so like there are things like that there's just like everything else like there's a spectrum of things that can happen in your life where it would be understandable if you need some time to process it, right? Like when Colonel Schrader got killed on Chapman, that we took a day or two or whatever to talk to the students and to do all the things and to process it and make sure everybody's like okay with it before going back. But that's not the same thing because like that's someone that we know that we were directly linked to that was murdered, like and then they're treating it in the exact same way. So
Yeah,
like it is so stupid. You don't know the people that are running for office and you're honestly fairly ignorant about what the results are going to be. and you're susceptible to all kinds of propaganda if you take it that far. If you think that it's that important that your personal life needs to be put on pause or your work life needs to be put on pause because somebody else got elected.
Yeah.
Like what do we like since we've been in what has it been like Republican Democrat, like they keep going back and forth, and we never, no one ever even brought up having a day off, like, oh, I need to mourn the passing of, the end of democracy in our country or whatever hyperbolic nonsense that they're saying. Like, just grow up,
Yeah.
and move forward. And if you think that the president of the United States, who the president of the United States is, has that much power and authority over your personal life, then you're not a very good American.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, man. And I got it. Like some would say, I think whether you're on the left or the right, I think you'd probably all agree that this was one of the most consequential elections of at least the last probably 30 years, maybe more. Um, you know,
Yeah.
so I mean, emotions are going to run high. I'm actually interested to get your opinion on this because I think one of the reasons why it is so polarizing right now is, in dating or during, family events, everybody says, don't talk about what? Politics, religion, sex, right? Like those are the
Yeah.
big three that you don't hit. And in my opinion, I think that that is one of the reasons why we are so polarized when it does come to politics, religion, and sex, is because we have compartmentalized it so much, and we're like, oh, these are the forbidden topics you can't talk about. That then when we do have these kind of conversations, it's like we're pearl clutching that, like, I can't believe you would think that, instead of actually, well, yeah, I know Trent believes that because of he has had these experiences through his life, and that's why he believes this, and that's why he feels this way, and that kind of stuff. Then I have a better way of understanding it, instead of it's just a one or zero. I'm like, I love you or I hate you, and all based off of your beliefs. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. Do you think I'm like
No,
way out in left field?
no, and I mean, and I got so lucky growing up in a family that discussed politics all the time. Like it's what we do, Like it was like an open forum, and it's funny because like I disagree with some of my brothers about politics, and I just, you and I probably don't have all the same opinions. I know Aaron and I go back and forth on a few things every once in a while. We're not like a single organism on the podcast where we all agree on everything, but we're able to like talk it out and to have these discussions in a fairly rational way. And then, like, and there's nothing more that I actually prefer talking to someone that disagrees with me like a lot, that can have a rational conversation. Like
Yeah.
I love that. I love, smart people that disagree with me because it challenges my beliefs and it challenges my principles. And that's what needs to happen. If we are never challenged and we live in our echo chambers, then how do you know that your ideas are any good or not if they're never challenged? Like it's nonsense. And I know I'm not breaking any new ground here with, what people say on podcasts, but like you should seek out challenges. You like just like you should seek out feedback, right? Like when you're on a team, you should, if you're not getting feedback from somebody, you seek it out. Like when I was going on my last deployment as a team sergeant, I was like asking my like at home station team sergeant Marcus, "What's up? How's it going? Hope you're enjoying retirement." And I was like, "Hey man, like I need some feedback." You know what I mean? Like you should ask for that. Be like, "Hey, like you've seen me perform, you've seen me go TDY with the guys, you see how I'm managing things. Like I just need, like, do you have any critical feedback for me, because that's what I need to grow." And that's the mindset that people need to have. Like if your ideas cannot withhold scrutiny, then they're terrible ideas. And then if it's more of a feeling, and that's what it is people have feelings, they don't have ideas.
Yeah. And that's the kind of risk that you come in, and I get it. People are all different, and there are for sure times that I have, probably every day that I revert back to the feels versus what's logical, because certain things maybe hit a little different, or a little bit more close to home. But at the same time, like, if I can, if I can control what I can control, which is my reaction to things, the reaction is what will help me kind of squash some of that emotional stuff and look at it logically. Um, I don't know. I think if we could navigate that more often and bring it to the forefront, I think that would help personally.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and you see this a lot in just day-to-day life, right? Well, what are your goals? Like, what do you think the end state of America should be? You know, like if you were king for a day, what do you think it should look like? Like what and like how much power do you want the federal government to have? How much power do you want the states to have? How much power do you want the local government to have? How much power do you want your HOA to have? Like break it down and tell me what your vision of a free utopian, republic, democratic republic looks like. Let me know, and then we can start working towards a solution, right? But like you're like, oh, I have all these feelings about all these issues that people bring up, and I watch the news and the world is burning down. And it's just like, man, like settle down. It's gonna be what it is. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be okay. I'm saying it's gonna be what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I legitimately, I thought you were asking me what I would think, and I'm like, oh boy, we're oh, may not end well for me.
I'm like
I
way
mean,
less, way
yeah,
less, way
way less.
less, way less, especially
Yeah,
HOA. Maybe more at like the city county level, and then way less at the HOA level.
yeah,
It's like a roller coaster.
yep, 100%. Like, but um, something else apart from the election, because that's you and we haven't released it yet, but you went on a little tirade on a solo episode for about a good 30 minutes, which was excellent, because I'll tell you what happened was I was editing the episode. You had recorded. I had no idea you recorded it. Then when you told me about it, I went on there, downloaded it, started editing it. And this was right before going to dinner with Vice and some of the other teams. And man, it got me so fired up. I actually wish that I had had another like 15 minutes on the before going, so that I could just hop on and just record my own opinions on it. But why don't you mind just topical, because I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil alert for the episode that's going to come out. I don't know when we'll drop it.
Is this
Maybe I'll
the
just
mass art one?
drop it today, just after this.
Yeah. Is this my tirade against the mass art that had a great
Yep.
career? That one.
Yeah.
Look, like like every so here it is like I don't understand people like seeking out victimhood, you know? And so like I found this post on the of course the Airman NCO senior NCO page, where some mass sergeant hopped on there, and the topic was he or she, whatever it was, right? Was like, oh man, I've had a great career. I was able to retrain as an FTA. I was able to get a base of preference. I made every rank the first or second time. I think tech took them twice, but they made like staff and master the first time or something like that, right? Like, so you're reading this and you're like, man, awesome. Like you're obviously a motivated individual. You found something else that you wanted to do, blah, blah, blah. And then the next paragraph was like, but I tell everyone that I meet to not enlist in the Air Force. And here's why. And then they had a ridiculous list of reasons why. Like, man, like I get it that you're trying to be part of like some victim club, but this is not the club that you should aspire to be in. And I got more frustrated the longer that episode went on.
I noticed, like, you definitely started off at a nice, just kind of even keel, nice tone, like really going through, and then you could feel the like the rage just bubble it up and just
I'm like, this got kind of personal towards the
yeah,
end, like
I was waiting
geez.
for some knife hands to come out, like but you made really good points, right? And hey, Spencer, dude, I know that you know that I'm recording right now and I'm live, like, and you still try and call me. Is that what you were doing?
So,
Dude, come on, man. You're better than that. And now you're texting me. Spencer, I love you, dude.
just put him on the podcast. Put him on. Like,
Yeah.
let's hear what he has
Hey,
to say.
Spencer, you tell me, and I'll send you the link, and you can hop on. How about that? Shit. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, listen, you're right. The victim vet, rather, you do not want to be part of that community. There is enough over there. They don't need any more people. They've got enough victims over there. They got enough people that are just broken down human beings that can barely function, that just tell everybody, oh, the life was terrible in the Air Force or the military and they shouldn't join or anything like that. Like, big deal, right? Don't be part of that club, right? And it's okay to have a little, I guess it's okay maybe to have a little pity party every time you, like, occasionally, like, oh, woe is me. Everybody falls victim to that occasionally,
Yeah.
but if you find yourself in that, recognize it and then get out of it, because if you fall in that rut and you go deep enough, it is tough to get out of it. And I don't mean blowing up or blowing sunshine up your own ass to like, oh yeah, everything's great, because believe me, the Air Force has some freaking problems, right? So does the Army, Navy, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard.
Yes.
Like, we have problems. We absolutely do. And if you're the type of airman that says, and I don't mean like E1, E2. I'm talking about like big airmen. If you're the type of Air Force dude that says the Air Force is perfect, has no problems, dude, you're straight up lying to yourself and everybody else. We have problems, but
Yeah.
everybody has problems, right? There's no company, no organization, no department or no service that has it all right.
I don't know. The
So
FBI seems to be doing a pretty good job.
yeah, just ask them.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That was.
Same with
Yeah.
you, ATF. Same with you, DEA. Same with you, IRS. Okay, now we're for sure getting canceled. Or
No, we're saying they're doing a great job.
you're doing a great job. But have a little positivity and realize, like, what the Air Force, the DoD, all of these, like, you came in, whether you had a bright future in front of you or not, right? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just needed a way out of this situation. Rock on. Maybe you didn't need a way out. Maybe it was just like you had a great life and you're like, you know what? I want to serve my country. That's awesome. But then you get trained. Hold on a second. Let me finish this thought real quick.
Okay.
Then you get trained. You get to experience other locations, other events in your life. You get to meet some fantastic people, not so great people as well. There are people that are shitheads, but you get to meet these great people and you get to navigate personal experiences and you grow as a person and grow as an adult. And you just think that was all for nothing? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. 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 So the thing at the end of that episode too, if you'll recall, and I kind of connected them at the very end. But the fact that you're gonna have a great career, and then you're gonna complain about all these things that didn't happen to you, and you're gonna tell me that you tell people not to join, the like the audacity, the narcissism, whatever it is, to say like, like I apparently that person didn't need to join the Air Force, but there are so many people in this country right now that wish that they had the opportunity to join. There's so many things outside of their own control that disqualify them from being in the military, especially the Air Force. The Air Force is maybe the Space Force is a little more difficult to get into these days. I don't know, but still, it's under the same department, right?
Mhm.
The Air Force is the most difficult service to get into. This person has had a great career, and you're going to turn around and tell people to not join when there are millions of folks out there that wish that they could get a job like this, that wish they could join the military. But we've had people like that on the podcast before that have gone on to do other great things, but they still have that itch that never got scratched because they wanted to be in the military. And this person is just taking for granted all of the time and capabilities and all the experiences that they've had, and they want to turn around and join the victim vet club. Like, it's so narcissistic and it's so stupid. Like, I could not possibly understand that. And maybe before we did the podcast, and I met a bunch of people and we hear about it all the time of all these people trying to get in, and we see the
Yeah.
issues, and we constantly getting hit up by people like, hey man, how do I get a waiver to get in? How do I do this? I need to get out of my situation. I'm trying to join the Air Force, and some of them can't do it and they end up in the Army or the Marines or whatever else, which is it's still fine. But it's just like, man, the how blind you are and how entitled you are to think that it's a good idea for you to have this great career, and you were able to join the Air Force, and to turn around and make it sound like it's the most terrible thing in the world. Like, you're just spitting in people's faces and you don't even understand it. Mass
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that is another thing that I love. Massant. Like,
That's
you
how
went
you say
full,
it.
like,
How else do you say it?
Rajant.
Yeah.
All right. I got to
Okay.
start closing it up because I got to go. And like I said, I didn't promise you guys an hour. We just hopped on.
We didn't
And
promise anything. We
yeah,
promised Taylor Starch in the comments making fun of everybody's crappy hips. Yeah.
yeah, your hips are trash. I know
My
mine are
hips are
trash.
trash.
Yeah, your hips are trash. You should be doing more zone 2, more long cardio, You should be getting a minimum of 10,000 steps in a day, a minimum of 10,000 steps in a day. Stop sitting so much. What else? If you're coming into the pipeline, get a job that'll help facilitate whether it's time on training, time on feet, or like Mason Gregory, he got a job freaking stocking shelves and not stocking shelves, but like unloading and loading heavy boxes and stuff like that. Time on feet. You saw the post. I'll remember off the top of my head. Thank you for sending that. Also, by the way, Spencer. Um, on average, 50, during the normal like not durability week, but
Yeah, let me. I think I
it was 15 miles a day average. That's without the runs, the deliberate planned runs. That is just hey, running to and from, because you guys don't understand. You are running to and from everything that you go to. And I don't mean like 7-minute miles. I mean, I'm talking about like you guys are doing the airborne shuffle kind of everywhere you go with a log on your shoulders or rocks or your rucksacks, right? Time on
Yep.
feet is what you need. So 15 miles a day average in that. And then during ability week, I think it was 22 miles a day.
It's 22. Yep.
22 miles a day on average. Some days less, some days a lot more. That doesn't include um, pool time, swimming either, right?
Nope. And I
That
think
is,
that he said during the course they average about 45 kilometers in the water.
yeah, not a day. That's throughout the entire thing.
But do some
So
math on that with how
yeah,
much time that just takes up just to do that, and that's not counting Cal's workouts, all the other stuff that you
yeah,
have to do as well.
or impromptu smoke sessions or anything like that. That
You
doesn't
would
that
never.
doesn't talk about the amount of flutter kicks, the amount of push-ups you're doing. So mm, So when we say eat everything when you're in the pipeline, that means eat everything in the pipeline, right? Because you need that caloric intake. I am not a dietitian. Trent is not a dietitian, right? I am just telling you from personal experience. If you try to moderate your diet throughout there, you eat the exact perfect thing, you're going to struggle really bad. Be a diesel engine, right? And just intake everything, okay? Because you
Man,
need
thank
it.
you for adding context to that because without it, I was totally lost on that reel that you dropped
Yeah.
about eat
Well,
everything on the One's
it's
Ready podcast where we talk about the selection course almost constantly. Yeah, yeah, it was. I had no idea what you were talking about.
yeah, it's a weird thing, like the funny thing about reels is you have a short amount of time. And another part about reels is you try and get information out there pretty quick, but you also try and draw people in almost like a movie trailer to your episodes. So,
Huh.
you know, so when we start talking about, eating tourniquets, that kind of stuff, um, you know, whatever. God,
Well,
man.
I guess if you release the 30-minute rant, 30 here ish, and then 30-minute rant, that counts as like an hour episode
Yeah.
impromptu release on a Friday. Is today Friday on a Friday
Yeah.
evening?
Yeah. I'd say so. I won't be able to because I got to run. I won't be able to release it right away. But maybe in the car, as long as I got some signal, I'll release it.
Sweet.
So,
Hey man, this was
um,
fun.
yeah, it was fun, and I like these kind of promptu things. Hey, everybody, I can see that we have 35 likes, but there's like 168 of you, or there's 56 of you guys in here right now. Hit that like button. We
Be
appreciate it.
better. Be better. Hit the like button.
And subscribe too. There's a lot of you that aren't subscribed, so please do that. And then if you have time or you're willing to, head over to onesready.com, buy some merch, check us out on there. We got flags, we got shirts. Just saw the reel that you did
Buy
the
the
other day about.
Dresden for crying out loud. It's awesome. And the joke, the dark joke that we made with that is amazing.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure that there's stuff in the chat, and it looks like Aaron got to a lot of it, but there's a lot that I did not look at. So maybe we'll have to go through that and check. But um, do we want to
There's
talk about the thing in January or not?
not
Is it
yet.
too early?
I think we'll just tease it.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, for all the people that are like, man, I would really like to be at an event with all three of the Ones Ready guys doing some stuff and some things. Maybe get some one-on-one. There's going to be a lot of knife hands. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way I talk.
Yeah.
I
So
have to
I
sheath
mean,
these things.
just pay attention. You know, some stuff might be coming up where you might have the opportunity to to gather with us and tell Aaron how you really feel face to face. Especially if you're a rescue pilot.
Yeah. And then if you guys aren't, well, you wouldn't be tracking, only we are tracking, but there are going to be some additional partners coming on the podcast here pretty soon in terms of maybe some fitness programming people, maybe some apparel. So there's some changes coming. Yeah. So, dude, this is good. Thanks for everybody that decided to tune in. We appreciate you. Leave a review, thumbs up, right? Thumbs up, subscribe. And if you want to join the membership, please do. All right. We're out here. Light up.
Later, y'all.